So, Mike Short, thank you so much for joining us at Cambridge Tech Week. You've had a long and illustrious career in telecoms and more recently with the government. So we were delighted that you were able to help us with one of the opening discussions at Cambridge Tech Week, covering a number of insights. So I'd like to follow up on a few of the things you've said. But before I do, what's your first impressions of Cambridge Tech Week?
You've got some fabulous speakers, great attendance, good exhibition, great location. I think what's interesting is to see how much enthusiasm there is for tech and innovation to expand and provide new opportunities.
We've chosen 4 areas to focus on in terms of technology topics, and coincidentally or not, they also happen to be 4 out of the 5 areas that government's decided to focus on for its strategies for the new Department of Science and Technology. So just like your reflections on those topics and how that's pertinent.
I'm really pleased you've chosen those, but also the government have chosen those as well. Those 4 are very important because they show UK strengths, but where ongoing support from the government is helpful. But we need to get more of that technology in those 4 areas from the hands of universities into industry. We also need to make sure it's dealt with at scale, both in the UK and internationally. So collaboration in this area is key, and this conference is helping that collaboration.
And you've mentioned the universities funding, startups, all areas where Cambridge is rich in. But I think from what you're saying, we need to make sure that's exposed and collaborate more widely, nationally and internationally.
Yes, I think all 4 areas, whether it's AI or quantum, future communications, they're all international sectors, and they will require things like standards, which are international. They will require a global supply chain, but the UK can play to its strengths if it collaborates well internationally.
Yes, indeed. Now, big topic today, almost every speech, every channel discussion, every fireside chat, certainly yours, touched on the topic of talent. Yes, talent from PhDs in quantum and AI, but not just PhDs, other forms of technical skills apprentices. I know this is a subject close to your heart.
Well, the UK's been 4th on the Global Innovation Index for at least 10 years, and that shows the number of citations and patents being filed. But sometimes the research doesn't translate into the scale-up or innovation space of industry. And I think we need to make sure that some of these key areas that CW is focusing on will scale up both in the UK and indeed internationally. The talent that comes from the research is really strong, but it also needs apprentices, it needs technicians, it needs people who can build things. It's not just the research itself, it's how do you scale up the manufacturing from design through to services. Indeed.
And one of the features of Cambridge is this proliferation of networking groups and associations and ways of collaborating across the ecosystem. I know you've had some exposure to that because you've attended many Cambridge Wireless events in the past. What's your experience of that?
Well, I think a lot of the networks are vital for collaboration, and the CW network is great, but also I would say UK TIN, which I'm now chair of the advisory board for, which is the Telecoms Innovation Network with support of the government, supported by CW as well. I think some of the areas like the professional institutions, like the IET, all of these are important networking organisations that help the collaboration move ahead and also find the talent or the talent gaps that need to be filled.
Indeed. Any last reflections on what Cambridge can be doing to be part of this the global ecosystem?
I think the key will remain for Cambridge to continue to innovate through the university system, the research system, but also to help scale up both locally, nationally and internationally. That will require collaboration and networking. I think the value statement of Cambridge, goes back centuries, but in practice, this global world that we're now in requires more of that scale-up approach that we didn't used to see so much 30 years ago.
Well, let's hope we see more of it now. Mike Short, thank you very much for participating in Cambridge Tech Week and sharing your thoughts with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.